I don't shake mine every day. Sometimes I do, sometimes it's just, if I walk by and I notice it, I give it a little shake. After 2 weeks, strain it, and then you don't have to keep it in the refrigerator. This you can in the refrigerator or counter, it doesn't matter. And then use it like an antibiotic or preventive to help with the fluid. Okay, the next thing we're gonna make is, okay. This is onion cough syrup. Now, I think it tastes pretty good. I have not been sick, so I have not taken it when I was sick, but Don took it. He thought it helped soothe your throat, didn't you? And I think Taylor took it. It does soothe your throat for sure. So what you're going to do is you're going to chop a full onion, and you're going to place it in a jar. You're going to get your honey. Your honey should be raw honey. And then you're not going to drizzle a whole lot, but you're just going to drizzle a little bit on that onion. You might end up with like a quarter cup of honey when you're all finished. And then you're going to put another layer of onion. You can also add garlic to this, which would be great. And you get a little more of your antibiotic stuff in there. You can also add ginger to it. Oh, and as I was saying with the fire cider, if you go, I've heard how good oregano is, like when you're sick. And so just throw some oregano in there. I've heard about dandelion root and how good it is for you, or how the leaves are a good blood cleanser. Go ahead and throw some in there. The recipe is really just kind of give you an idea. You can make it your own. And I'm going to show you, let's see. You should have a sheet of, for like children, the one that says the Nature's Penicillin.
I thought that was moldy bread. You want me to make a copy of that?
And so you use this just like you would cough syrup. Onion is supposed to be really, really good for coughs. Huh? Yeah.
She mix it up, have honey in it. That's what we got to do.
We always use honey and ginger, powdered ginger.
Yeah. So after you do this, you're going to let it set for 24 hours. And you'll be surprised at how syrupy it gets. And then you just strain it. And this you will need to keep in the refrigerator because of the onion.
And that's going to make enough juice to strain it?
Yes, actually you would be surprised. When I do a full onion, I probably get 6 ounces, or maybe more.
Wow.
So it's good.
So almost, so 3/4 to a cup of
Yeah, and
juice.
of course, I didn't use the whole onion with this one.
Right.
So by the time you finish, you might be up there with your onion and your honey. Okay, and so I'm going to show you just how to make, fresh fire cider. Because all of a sudden you're sick, or someone's sick, or you're starting to get sick, and you don't have any fire cider. It still has another week to go. And so this is what I did last time we had some sickness in the house. So when I made this, I wasn't thinking about how strong the ingredients were. I was just throwing stuff in, and then it was really it was to be taken in one day. And so, you don't need a whole onion in this, for sure. So I'm going to put 2 cloves of garlic, just because this is something that they can take throughout the day. They can sip throughout the day.
It's not really important that you remember the recipes. It's really important that you study each product and know what it does, so that when you get something, you'll know what you want to use.
Right. Okay, so I'm gonna put a little cayenne in there, just a shake or two, because it's the.
This is a really good recipe. There's a lot of good recipes like this on YouTube.
Now I'm gonna put a little more turmeric, because it's an anti-inflammatory, and it's also a pain reliever.
What are you making this time?
This is the fresh fire cider.
Oh, okay.
Somebody's sick now, so you need that.
Right, and you know.
So what have you put in there so far?
I have put the onion, the garlic, the cayenne, the turmeric. I'm getting ready to put the ginger in.
So it's just the same stuff as the regular fire cider?
Yeah, you're gonna get to try it, except for we're not putting the vinegar in this.
You just put water instead?
We're doing lemon.
Oh, lemon, okay.
Okay, so we got the ginger, we got the onion, we got the garlic, we got the cayenne. Now we need the lemons. You want to squeeze this for me, honey? And then this is what everyone will get to taste. Doesn't taste too bad. If you have a really good blender, you can put a little clove in it, if you have a really good blender.
Now, if somebody wanted to know the difference between if it's organic or not, what's the big difference? It's the pesticides that's used on it while it's growing, right?
Yes, yep,
That's also the food that they're getting.
right. Yeah, the fertilizer or whatever. Okay, then you add some water. A little bit of honey, just for taste, and honey is also, of course, it soothes your throat. It's also, I also consider it one of nature's antibiotics, especially for the skin. Okay, now if you don't have a good blender, you could strain this if you
If
need
you
to.
don't have a good blender, get one. They're cheap.
And so when Don got sick, we're pretty sure he had the flu. I made one of these for you just about every day, didn't I? Well, the first time, I guess, I don't know if I didn't tell him.
Not the little cup, the whole picture.
Yeah. He literally had like a cup and a half, and he drank it all at once. And I was like, ooh. Because I drank maybe 6 or 8 ounces.
That set you on fire?
And, woo, I didn't know if I was going to keep that down. It doesn't taste bad. It's just really strong.
But it's very good medicine.
It is, because this, like I said, we don't know for sure if he had the flu. But whatever he had, there are other people I was talking to, and they said 4 weeks, and they were still coughing, they were still not feeling well. And I think we decided with you,
What's that?
how long was it?
What'd you do?
Nothing, you got your arm touched.
Well, I'll talk to
Probably
you later.
talks about the average being 3 or 4 days if you stay on it hard.
Yeah. How long was yours, honey? Do you remember? Everybody got some?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Down the hatch.
Down the hatch or sip it.
I go down the hatch.
I do too.
That's pretty good.
I want to taste it.
This size right here would actually be about perfect. Take this about every hour. Whoever's sick, give it to them about every hour. A lot of your kids, your older kids, teenagers should definitely be able to take this. Yeah, go ahead. You want some more?
You put the
So
lemon
it's
rind
good
in
to
that?
chase it with water, huh?
Did you put the lemon rind in it?
Yeah.
I thought so. It tastes
You put the
good.
whole
So
lemon.
you're used to taking it, look what it's doing to you. Really?
Not me.
It's not hot, it's just,
I'm a newbie.
it's not that it's so hot, it's just, okay. So,
This is a good sport, he tried it.
yeah.
Yeah. Probably fix whatever's ailing you.
Someone can take that home.
Yeah, in the future too.
Well, that's what you want.
Dustin was croupy last night, but he was fine this morning. I'll give that to him.
Yeah, feel free to do that, yeah. So there is a recipe here for children's. It's 1 grapefruit, 1 orange, 2 lemons, 3 cloves of garlic, half a large onion, 3 drops of peppermint oil.
Oh, I have everything but the orange.
Yeah, so same
Can you use
thing.
lemon
You want,
juice?
yeah, you could. I mean, ideally, you want, they say blend everything.
Right.
But yeah, you know, use what you have. And adults 1 cup a day, kids half a cup a day.
That sounds really good.
Yeah. Well, this is, yeah, like the only thing really different with this is the orange and the grapefruit. And then you leave the hot stuff out. But, let me get another drink. Okay, so you got your fire cider, you got your onion cough syrup, and then you have your vitamin C. So even if you don't have
And
anything
your
else,
instant fire cider.
yeah, and your instant fire cider. So even if you don't have anything else, and these are actually pretty cheap to make. If you don't have anything else, you've got a good arsenal right here. Okay.
Pineapple juice helps with coughs too.
Yeah.
Straight up pineapple juice.
They say fig juice also helps.
I haven't tried that one.
Yeah.
The kids like the pineapple juice.
Yeah. Okay, so let's say you have a sinus infection. So what you want to do is you want to do a hot cold treatment. You want to do that sinus massage. An herb you can add is golden seal. If you don't have this, or they can't drink it, you can just chop up raw garlic and they can swallow it, or they can even, if you get a small one, they can even just swallow a whole one, just like a pill. And if you got the fire cider, you're going to be using the onion and the ginger and the cayenne and the horseradish and the turmeric. And then of course you want your vitamin C. You can give colloidal silver, kind of take it like you would an antibiotic. You can take a tablespoon a few times a day. Colloidal silver. Yeah. Colloidal silver kills bacteria. Of course, your fire cider. Echinacea. Echinacea is a good builder for your immune system, and it also is really good for a sore throat.
You know, I want to get that echinacea and golden seal. It's really good stuff. Yeah, high blood pressure. You know, it didn't dawn on me. My blood pressure went up. My kid went to the doctor and said it's going up and down. I realized that it was that
Combination.
Golden it ran my blood pressure up.
Yeah,
I mean, not out of the sky, like 159, but I didn't want it up there, you know. Yeah.
Golden seal is one of
But
those
I
things that you don't
didn't
take
do that,
often.
and I had forgotten.
Yeah, you're only supposed to take it like 7 days.
I
1? Yeah.
golden because I had it doesn't do much.
So you want to make sure that when you're sick, you have plenty of water. I don't know if when you've been sick or you're getting sick, it feels like you cannot drink enough. Your body just needs a little more. You can also take a little bit of sea salt, just a few grains of sea salt when you drink your water to help it get into your cells a little better. That will decrease your phlegm. And you can also rinse your eyes if you're, especially with a sinus infection, how it feels, you feel sick and your eyes hurt and you have that pressure. You can rinse your eyes with sea salt, and you can even add a little bit of colloidal silver in with it, just a little bit.
Yeah. Cayenne.
Yeah, cayenne, which will burn, but yeah, you sure can. Yeah.
In their eyes? Wow. Yeah. Put your sea salt in your, that's really good. I actually took an empty hot sauce bottle, like Frank's, get the drip, I took an empty sauce bottle and had it cleaned out really good and kind of, boiling water and stuff. And then, I just made some, because the sea salt, I don't have any fine ground, mine's chunky, so I put the sea salt in the water and just shook it until it was all completely melted in there. And I have it in the bathroom, and I use it for eyewash all the time.
Yeah. Yeah, it works. It works really well. It feels good. You can use it. Does everybody know what a neti pot is to rinse your sinuses?
We have one.
Yeah, you can use that. You can also do a steam. So you boil your water and take it off the stove, and like you can put like a tea tree oil or an essential oil in it. Place the towel over their head, and so it's big enough that it encases the bowl, and so they breathe the steam. Not too close if they get burnt, but you breathe the steam, and that will help break up the congestion. Then you want to do that massage, the sinus massage, the lymphatic massage down the throat and in the armpits. Oil of oregano is a really good for sinus infections. In fact, you can put a little bit of that in some saline solution and squirt it right in the nose. Make sure it's very mild, because it is hard to do. But if you are...
Only the first time.
Yeah. No, I think it's hard for you.
It feels like your head's going to explode,
Yeah.
kind of.
But it really does help.
Work, yeah.
Okay. Now, for
It's
coughs,
surprising.
you have your vitamin C. Of course, you have your fire cider, fresh or in the vinegar. You got your onion cough syrup. You can also, as Vanessa was talking about, putting the onions in a sock. Well, I think you were talking about garlic. But you can actually take onions, like if someone has just a cough that just won't quit, you chop them up fine, put them in like a plastic sack, and this works well with children. You put it in a plastic sack, put the onion in there, put their little foot in there, and then put a sock on over it, and just within minutes they should stop coughing. The pores on your feet are the biggest pores on your body, and so that's why it's a good way to get things into your system, just through the bottom of your feet. Huh?
Absorbs quickly.
Yes. And let's see. You can also eat slippery elm is also really good for cough, as it's an herb. Then you can make a ginger honey cough syrup. You can use either fresh ginger. You could even add fresh ginger in there to make it. Or you could do the powdered ginger with a little bit of honey and just, like half a teaspoon for a cough. Mullein tea works really well. You can take either mullein, you can either make a tea with it, or you can take it in a pill form, or you can actually smoke it. It's kind of harsh to smoke it, but it actually will quiet the cough. And it seems to, works really well for people that have asthma.
Smoke mullein, it'll bring up a lot of stuff, more than likely.
Yeah, it will make
you cough a lot of stuff up.
Yeah.
I can't have mullein.
It's a
What's
herb.
that?
Mullein.
Yeah. Yeah, when you see it, it's almost like, it's like fuzzy, And if you let it set long enough, it gets a little bit slippery.
For quite a while, long time ago, you couldn't even buy mullein, but it's back now. You can get it.
I got a big bag of it because Sam has got some asthma actually, so. You want to do the lymphatic massage again on those big lymph nodes, and also back here. We also have lymph nodes back here. But, elderberry syrup. That works pretty good for a cough.
Good for flu too.
Yeah. And then you can also make a syrup with just garlic and honey, and not the onion if you don't want to. Sore throats. Diluted clove oil works really well to decrease the pain. And echinacea tea also works exceptionally well. I don't feel like echinacea works very well if you take it in capsule form, or I don't feel like it works even as well if you take it in tincture form. It feels, I mean, for me anyway, maybe it's just me, that the tea is the best way. It actually tastes the best that way. It's actually kind of a pleasant tea to drink, and it really does really soothe your throat because it kind of has a numbing quality. Of course, your vitamin C, your fire cider. You can gargle sea salt water to soothe your throat. Slippery elm is also really good for sore throats. You can do the hot and cold treatments right over the throat. You can do a compress of raw potato or onion over the throat. And that might be something, like the raw potato would be easy to do on a child because there would be no burning. And onion won't burn either, and so you could do, those are two ways if you can't get them to swallow.
I forgot
anything.
about the onion or the potato. My grandma used to do that.
Yeah. And of course the lymphatic massage again. And elderberry is good for sore throats also. Okay, the flu, your vitamin C, your fire cider, your onion cough syrup, hot and cold over, you know, when you have the flu, you hurt absolutely everywhere. And so you can do hot and cold over whatever hurts the most at that time. A lot of times it's the back. And so, you know, you can do a hot and cold treatment over it, and then gentle massage. Don't want to massage too vigorously, obviously, because people are hurting. And also because when you massage, you move toxins out. And so you want it to be gentle and not do a tremendous amount all at once. Because the body is having a hard time removing the toxins, and that's why you're sick anyway. And so you can gently help it, but just do some gentle massage. Coil silver, again. Warm lemon honey tea, that's really very soothing when you have a flu. If you're running a fever, which if you have the flu, more than likely you are, you should let it run. Don't try to, unless you just get so uncomfortable that you can't sleep at all. But rather than take the Tylenol or the ibuprofen or whatever, you should do a tepid bath, not a cold bath, but a tepid bath. Or you can even just, you know, do the forehead, you know, the forehead and the face. The ice cube around the mouth and the face when you're feverish sometimes feels good. If that's too much, you can put it in a washcloth.
I remember when my oldest one got pneumonia. He was probably about a year old or so, and we put him in a tepid bath with the towels over it. And then we took him out of that, wrapped him in blankets, and set it when we had one of those space heaters in one room that heated the whole house. Mm-hmm. And we would put him in the bath for 30 minutes, then we'd go sit by the furnace wrapped in blankets for 30 minutes, mm-hmm. back and forth. And it not only broke his fever, but it stopped the pneumonia from getting worse.
Yeah, and that's that hot and cold that you're doing. That's all you're doing. Because when you're running a fever, a tepid bath, it feels very cold. I mean, it will bring your temperature down.
Yeah. So,
yeah.
And it was on the weekend, of course, so you can't just go to the doctor. And so,
right.
By Monday, he was feeling better, and so we took him in, and they said, "Wow, whatever you did, keep doing it."
Yeah. The lymphatic massage, oil of oregano is really good. And with the flu, it's really just that caregiving is just that's when it's the most important, because it basically has to run its course, and any way you can make somebody more comfortable so they can rest, you're going to feel better. So.
If you get it really hard, like back here. I'm just kidding. Good night.
And you know, really, these things that we're talking about today, you know, antibiotics are not your friend for these things. They're viruses, and the majority of them. And so we want to try to do things naturally to give your body a chance to heal, because your body will get stronger and recognize those germs and fight them off a little better. And I just heard a thing on the news a day or two ago that said, despite, it's been 10 years, they've been telling doctors, antibiotics do not work against viruses. Antibiotics are kind of, most of the time, ineffective for earaches, ear infections. Do you know there has been no change? Doctors are continuing to give antibiotics for viruses.
Antibiotics is for bacterial infections, not viruses. It's not an antiviral medication.
No, but they're doing it.
And people don't get it.
But garlic and onion, they're antibacterial, they're antiviral, they're anti all that.
Yeah. So, you know, I think we have to be educated, because our doctors are obviously stopping their ears. So, and you know, it's hard, I'm sure, when a patient goes in and they're like, I gotta have something, you know, and you can, sometimes they say, well, we're given an antibiotic for a preventive. What the antibiotic does is it destroys your gut bacteria, because it kills all bacteria. If you do not have good gut bacteria, you cannot have good health. So, and they're finding out with earaches, when our youngest daughter was a baby, she had chronic ear infections, and I think I took her in maybe 3 times. And I thought, this is ridiculous. The antibiotics, they don't do anything. She keeps getting them. Well, then I happened to read just a little article that said, if you let an ear infection run its course, you'll stop ear infections, or at least decrease them. So that's what we did with her. And I can remember when I was a kid and would get an ear infection, my dad would put a warm washcloth over my ear. That felt really good. But we let her run that 4th ear infection with no antibiotics. It was just comfort care, warm washcloth over the ear. We didn't know too much, but we did a warm washcloth over the ear. And you know, she never had another one. And I run into young mothers who have, their babies are 2 and 3, and they have been on antibiotics for over a year.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, when is the doctor going to say the antibiotic is not, it's not working?
And now they have IBS also.
Yeah, you just killed everything in their system. Their immune systems don't work. It's just,
That's what I was gonna say, it kills your immune system, antibiotics.
yeah, it's horrible. Antibiotics should only be in the life-saving. I mean, that's my personal opinion.
And if you've always taken them, they're not going to be good at that point either, which is another reason that only take it, because there might come a time when you absolutely have to have one.
Now we have superbugs.
And it'll work.
Yeah. But I do believe that God has given us something for absolutely everything that on this earth. Yeah. So we just may not know what it is. So anyway, we're going to talk about earaches. So basically with earaches, you want to build the immune system, and then you want to let it run its course, and you want to provide comfort care. So,
Another thing you can do for an earache that really helps is, but you gotta make sure it's just on your, you can't have it, but olive oil, and just put a drip in your ear, and it makes the pain not so bad. I used it.
yes, yep, I've used that multiple times on my kids. Yeah. Use what?
Sweet oil. I think it's the same thing.
Well, we used to have sweet oil bags that that's what the doctor gave me, little bottles. But you know what, I just, after I used that, because you have to read the prescription, I guess, I never saw it. But, I'd never seen it there, but anyway, what I just did, with my mom, I just use olive oil, and it's just the same. I mean, you just have to make sure you don't get hot.
Yeah.
Cold makes it hurt.
So, okay, so one of the things you can do is you can take half of an onion, which I don't have half one here anymore, but you just cut the onion in half, and then you steam it till it starts to get soft and a little transparent. And then you take that onion and you squeeze a little bit of the juice out. And then you wrap the onion up in a towel. And you can put a little bit of that onion juice actually in the ear. And then you wrap that onion around the ear and you hold it on with a beanie bag or whatever, and you leave it there till it gets cold or uncomfortable. And that helps the pain, and it also helps draw out the toxins. So,
That's good to know.
yeah. Then you want to do that gentle ear massage that we did with the sinus infection to encourage drainage. You want to do the lymphatic massage and kind of go up here behind the ears. And then clove of garlic. You can get the juice, or you can also take a clove of garlic and just smash it a little bit. Wrap it in gauze, just a really small piece. Wrap it in a thin gauze, and just place it gently in the ear. And it's supposed to kill the pain. You want to be careful that it doesn't, that you don't get any burning. And then talk about the warm garlic oil in the ear, just a couple of drops. One of the ways you can make garlic oil is to take olive oil, put your garlic and smash your garlic, put it in there, leave it set for a couple of weeks, and then strain it, and then there's your garlic oil. Let's see. I think we've got went over everything. Of course, there's a lot of different. Dandelion, cayenne, that's a good one. Echinacea. You want to make sure you get plenty of vitamin D, which is part of our new stuff for the summertime. How many years have we been learning it?
35 maybe.
Yeah, 25 years. So, you know, there's just so much. There's so much that you can learn and teach yourself.